Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is quite the day. You may have noticed Bitcoin took a little bit of a dump during the evening, but well, things are kind of recovering. I don't know officially, but somebody did mention to me over in the Bitcoin Daily View chat this morning that interest rates, mortgage interest rates, are up to like 3.22% now. So we have to think about is all this really due to the Fed tapering? I mean, if you're, housing, both commercial and, home real estate and your stock market and crypto, if basically like the entire economy from every angle is dependent on the Fed basically pumping our taxpayer money into it to keep it running, that's kind of shaky ground, isn't it? So while that affects crypto too, crypto is just dumping with everything else right now, but I still think it's the place to be. And let's look at a few things. Okay. So, anyway, it is January 6th. It is Thursday. It is 9:21 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. As always, BitcoinDailyView.com. Things I mentioned, etc., are there. And let's look at the market the last hour. As you can see, mostly green and red, but the crypto squares here has been pissing me off recently and not really being totally accurate. Let's look at, okay, that looks better. So deep red, it's definitely a bloody day in the market. Bitcoin down a good deal. It's trying to hold that 42K range. And now this thing refreshes. Anyway, whatever that means, let's try this. I got an idea. Bubble. Let me search for bubble. Crypto bubbles. Do we have them working here? No, I don't. Crap. Sorry about that. Another way to look at the market. I'll start looking at that one too. This thing here is just a little bit laggy and weird. But anyway, we're seeing a bit of a market recovery? Anyway, a mix of green and red in the market today for sure. Definitely some blood red and definitely some light green here and there. So let's see what's going on. Some interesting stuff, both positive and negative. Now, I did lose, Bitcoin trading volume. Don't know why it ain't there. It just ain't working no more. So we'll keep trying because it's a cool indicator. But something of great note and great to look at and check out is exactly this: is trading volume, spot trading volume on Binance. So it's been crap last couple of days, but this morning we're up 28 billion. Not bad at all. That's like double what it was yesterday, and up 81% last 24 hours. So last 24 hours, 28 billion in trading volume for spot pairs on Binance, up 86% last 24 hours. That is massive. So that tends to relate to retail buying. So people are buying the dip. At least people are doing, retail are buying the dip. So that's pretty groovy. This is kind of a nice sparky up in the volume. So I dig seeing that. If we look at Coinbase, check that out. It's coming in at 7 billion. I usually just tend to look at Binance. It's the best kind of indicator, but I have to note Coinbase up 107% last 24 hours. Kraken up 111% last 24 hours. KuCoin 87% last 24 hours. Hobie up 85% last 24 hours. Bitfinex, where the short and long and whale bastards live, 174%. That's massive. And Binance US, that exchange that us US users are kind of stuck using, which is actually becoming relevant. I think it has enough pairs on it now, and it has liquidity, has volume happening. A lot of market makers there, up 95%. Gemini up 109%. Bitstamp 111%. And Crypto.com exchange, not to be taken for granted whatsoever, up and coming. If you got a Crypto.com card, if you don't, check out the affiliate link. Unsolicited advice, not financial advice, entertainment purposes only, but I'd have one. I do have one. Anyway, up 31%. Wild. Bybit, where many of the crypto YouTubers like to push, a place to use leverage and get young retail traders wrecked. A very, very unethical exchange right there. Or I should say those pushing it certainly are. 77% up. And I won't keep going down the line because you get the idea. But if you look at the 7-day graph here on spot trading volume, look at that sudden burst we're seeing. So definitely retail is buying the dip across all the big exchanges. Now, looking at derivatives. Let me actually turn my little chat on there. If anybody is watching and wants me to like look at anything specific or has any news stories or whatever, for heaven's sakes, do post them in the chat. I am watching the live chat. Um, uh, Now, looking at derivatives. Derivatives, you want to have 75 billion for a good day. We're at 96 billion, up 81%. So derivatives on Binance, those, doing the leverage action, rocking, absolutely rocking, powerfully rocking. The same across all the other exchanges. How is it over there at Bybit? Where's the Bybit? Bybit, so 77% up. Well, anyway, spot is wonderful. The thing is, you really want to see at least 30 million to even be online. We're at 28 billion, not bad. 50 billion is really 50 billion plus is a good day. So anyway, we are seeing an explosion in retail action during this dump. Now, hopefully it's not just longs getting wrecked, because that is volume also. So hopefully it's not just longs getting wrecked, but we'll find out in the days and hours ahead. Now, I asked the crew over at Trade Genius chat and also blockchain education chat for other ideas as far as seeing volume, and I'm still kind of figuring them out to see actually Bitcoin trading volume. So this is trading volume, and currency. It's against USD. So I'm only looking at USD, not all currency. Last 24 hours, as you can see, we're starting to see a bit of an uptick here in Bitcoin trading volume. We're seeing a lot of it here on Coinbase. Anyway, I still have yet to exactly get this one all figured out, but as we can see, we're seeing an increase in trading volume the last 2 hours or so. Definitely an increase in trading volume. So still learning this one. I'll try to get it a little bit more. I see some cool looking charts and graphs that I could look at daily here. So let me figure this one out, get it screwed down more. Right now, I'm just going to say we're having an increase in trading volume the last 24 hours for Bitcoin explicitly against the US dollar. This is darn cool. This came from Blockchain Education. This is M Mouse actually hooked me up with this, and I'm still figuring this one out. Only kind of found it this morning, but this is badass. And so I linked to all these in the show notes. So look at the description; it is there. Okay, this is really friggin' wild. This is an aggregate of a lot of the top exchanges here, and basically what we're looking for is you can set your thresholds here for your buy and your buy and sell orders. Also, you can fire up liquidations. Other things you can do here. It's interesting, but this is what I like about this indicator. You can watch the whales do their things, and you can watch kind of like the automated institutional buying and selling. Because if you notice, like over here on the right, if you look, you still look at all these 214K sells, and oftentimes you'll often see buys at 100K, 101K. You can actually see how there is automated trading happening with the big money that, however much automated it is, I mean, ultimately it is, however much assisted it may be, when it's firing off, it's definitely, you can watch the big money, the whales play their games, and you can watch, you'll watch a bunch of a couple $1 million, market sales come in here, and you watch the price dump. Then you watch the buys come, and you watch go up. So you can actually watch here. Look at the numbers they're playing with. Just watch how it kind of works. I find it strangely fascinating because I'm a really weird dude, but this is something to watch during the day. Have it up, check it out. You can actually get to feel, you can see what the market is doing, what the whales are doing, what the manipulators are doing. So get this beautiful chart of what Bitcoin is doing here. I think we're looking at a anyway, and I think down here is showing you volume. This actually aggr.trade. This has got tremendous amount of stuff you can do and set up here on this page to see things. So we're going to start looking at this, or a couple different views of this daily to understand what's going on. So this is a new thing. So going to deep dive into some of the things that data.bitcoinity.org has to offer. I linked to that in the show notes. So you can also, we'll get some deep diving on this one, get some deep diving on this one too. So it's all about looking at something, the same thing every day. That kind of helps you get hooks into what is going on. you don't know where you're at if you don't know where you've been. So we're going to start looking at more stuff and get a handle on where we're going every day by what we see that day. Okay, there you go. Right. Okay. Anyway, looking at blockchain whispers, what's going on here as far as longs versus shorts? Looking at Binance, okay, 77.92% long, 22% short. Okay, long bias. Now, also for Ethereum, 75% long, 24% short. So in general, a long bias, but I'm telling you, it's kind of a shaky long bias, wouldn't you say? Let's look at the market. I'll try to keep rocking through this. Anyway, as you can see, yesterday was a shady red candle. Today is another red candle. Gosh, it's kind of something. You know, you're really kind of moving when the bodies match like that, with the body of yesterday's candle. Then today's candle pretty much are perfectly in alignment. If you do read, gosh, like the art of candlestick, whatever reading, a book that I really super endorse. It's awesome. It's like this friggin' huge. If you get the paper version, I'll link to it in the show notes. It really gets into the history and the and different meanings and terms and such like that of candlesticks. It's an art of reading them, and I forget what that means, but that is an important thing. Anyway, looking at the MACD today, as you can see, daily MACD. When we saw this getting ready to cross, it was time to hedge out because daily MACD is a big deal. When it crosses positive, money hops in. When it crosses negative, money hops out. I guarantee, as we saw this this negative MACD beginning to look like it was forming up for a negative cross. While we were watching on the daily, the MACD form up for a negative cross with the possibility of one. I bet if we've been watching here, you would just see sell orders like crazy. Like, look at this one, $2.2 million sell order, sells, and boom. You can actually see the reaction in the price right there. This is glorious. I mean, this is something to watch. And also, when you watch this and look at it every day, you get to know the mood of the market. Okay. You know what I mean? Get your 70s funk on and watch it. So anyway, here you go. BTC versus USDT on the 4-hour chart. As you can see, we definitely are not holding the bottom of that RSI cave, but we are kind of holding it. I know we're dumping pretty hard, but we're not in free fall, crazy dump territory yet. I think we're doing okay. Got some serious sell pressure coming in. But overall, I don't see the market. This is just me, okay? My vibe that I'm getting here is I don't see the market just giving up. I don't see Bitcoin just giving up and just dumping its ass off. I mean, we are seeing here at the stochastic RSI is now the tangent is down once again, but here on the 4-hour chart, it's a powerful place to look at it. We are kind of in the oversold zone. Looking at the Waveton oscillator by Lazy Bear, we are basically now on a super hardcore oversold, and our tangent is turning up. Waveton oscillator by Lazy Bear is a harsh but is a stoic but good mentor. Especially on the 4-hour chart, it is darn powerful. As you can see back here, we had to dump this low. Boom! We had to move up. And this is when you notice that super long wick that we had and that massive buy sell pressure. So once again, boom, we're dumping hard. We're back in the zone. 4-hour chart does not show to me a total giving up for Bitcoin, all right? So there you go. And also the volume, spot trading volume is nuts. Now, maybe it's just simply longs getting wrecked, but I don't think there's that many longs getting liquidated. I really don't. I mean, who the crap was still longing when you see the daily MACD getting ready to go? I mean, we were kind of flaccid before this dump. So who was really, I guess there were some people who were longing. Sorry about that if it didn't work out for you. There are support groups. So with that said, BTC versus USDT, 45-minute chart, as you can see. For a while now, Bitcoin has been trying to hold. Well, actually, no, let's look at this way. Okay. It's something I always like to point out. Damn. Yeah, Bitcoin's been on the 45-minute chart. We're pulling in a lot of data. We're heating up the GPU and the server over there. 45-minute chart. You can see we're going back to November. I mean, really, ever since, definitely about, November 20, like 10th of November. Mid-November was really kind of a turnaround time here for Bitcoin. And you can see, Bitcoin's been having a hard time ever since November. So you have this long downtrend. It's a 45-minute chart, pulling in a lot of, measurement here. And now I just dumped once again. So really, it's just, Bitcoin does not have the power. You can see where it kind of blew it there, see a big dump here. Now we're in a big dump today. I mean, in general, we're just, Bitcoin's retracing a bit. That's just kind of how it goes. Let's make this a 4-hour chart. I think we looked at this over here, didn't we? Now let's make this a 4-hour chart. Sorry that I'm actually sorry, guys. It's I just got my GPU is a little bit it's a little bit challenged by this chart here. So let's get crazy here, and let's just, while we're looking at the world today. Also, one thing people have been mentioning is like looking at the anyway. No, let me hold off on that one. I will point you guys to somebody who is more competent to tell you about that. I want to link to another YouTube here by Crypto Love at the end that I think you may find really, really, really good. It's one of his better ones. I mean, they're all good, but this one was, powerful. Going way back here, doing a fib sequence like the beginning of October. From there, as you can see, we're this one doesn't stick too well, but it kind of does. Could we be heading for like a .5 turnaround? .5, looking at this, would be around 39,600. Hey, it could happen. Let's actually take this and let's put it here. Fib sequences, always be creative. Feel free to play with them a bit and see how they work. Okay. Now do your fib from here. Interesting spot to do it. Okay. Do your fib back here on the 19th of July or so, when we had a really powerful run up. Yes, we did come down a good deal, but I'm not going to invalidate the fib sequence because of that. I mean, really look at it a couple different ways, and it will tell you more. It either sticks or it doesn't. It fits or it doesn't. Where are we right now? If you look at it from that perspective, this is kind of interesting in my opinion. We are kind of hanging out here in the 618 pocket. A little bit below it. That definitely is a bounce zone, on the 4-hour chart here. Definitely possible. This fib sequence seems to stick pretty good. I like it. I like what I'm seeing there. That's kind of a good one. Let's expand this out a little bit more. So that actually is very, very sticky. That actually looks pretty darn good. So let's see what happens. We have explored down like with the RSI cave back here, like on the 2nd of October or so, or 30th, 29th of September, end of September, beginning of November. The RSI cave did kind of come down here to the 786, and we got some wicks that were kind of heading that way, but didn't quite get that low. So 786 place is definitely a valid place to bounce. If we don't bounce at 618, very well might see 786. If you are a fib believer, I personally am. I think these things are pretty powerful. So we're kind of in that, turnaround land. Now, just because we're a little bit under doesn't really matter. As you can see, we were under here and then made a move up. So realize that when you're looking at this, who else is looking at this? These big ass players right here who are kicking out automated trades, longs and shorts, they're looking at this too. And so realize that also, if we look at the fear and greed index, we're super fearful right now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, there you go. That's just something I'm seeing. Interesting enough, right? I kind of dig it. I'm gonna leave this up. 45-minute chart is not, let's actually, yeah, good enough. Enough on Bitcoin. We'll see. This is a very logical turn up spot. It may, if not, well, maybe it's going to go lower. But like when you're free fall dumping like this, as you can see, we're in manipulation land. There's no real sense to it. Looking at Ethereum versus USDT here on the 4-hour chart, as you can see, it was kind of trying to make that 618 bounce. It kind of made a 618 bounce back here. And it kind of looked like that was what it was going to do. But with today's dump, nope, it hasn't happened. It's kind of almost gone down to the 786, giving it all back, but not a bad bounce spot. Like I say, when you're free falling like this, you really want to kind of wait for that confirmed uptrend. If you're a dollar cost average buyer, you're going, yeah, I'm going to fire this up. I'm getting a good deal. It's less than it was a minute ago, so I'm going to buy it. Good. I'm dollar cost averaging. That's what I do. If you're a trader, well, then I'd be waiting for that confirmed uptrend, and that's kind of up to you to decide when you see that. Myself, looking at Bitcoin here explicitly, a 45-minute chart. Let's get rid of some of this other stuff. Let's look at the indicators. Right now, if we look at this thing, for Bitcoin. You got a directional index, which is very, very red, starting to trend towards the positive, a squeeze indicator, which shows that we are kind of ending our dump. The KRI is basically about to turn green once again. Stochastic RSI is showing we're probably still in over bought territory. It's a little funny. And then look at your weight oscillator by Lazy Bear. It's looking like we are back in the buy zone. Maybe we have given enough back. So, but still we are below the 200 moving average here on the 45-minute chart, which is never a fun place to be. So just take note of that. We're not, to me, really, until we get some uptrend and we break through that 200 moving average with powerful looking indicators on the 45-minute chart, and the daily is the tangent is looking positive, I'm kind of would be wary. We definitely, I mean, if you are hedged out on the sidelines or you got more cash to put in, not financial advice, I'm just saying this dump ain't over until it truly reverses, and I'm going to point you to something kind of powerful on that at the end here. 2-hour chart, the tangent. This is one thing, 2-hour chart that just tend to me to show you which way we're going. The tangent on the 2-hour chart for MACD just turned positive. So, very possibly maybe we are starting to lose steam on this dump. If so, badass plays to buy for dollar cost averaging, but not exactly a trader's confirmed uptrend per se, right? That won't happen until we get more powerful indicators and a break above the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. Okay, boom, there we go. Now, let's say Ethereum versus USDT starting to turn around. Very well likely might be Ethereum versus BTC. This is awesome. I mean, Ethereum versus BTC very well might recover quicker. I mean, if you are a person who likes that trade, I personally love it when I can get it. So ultimately, Ethereum versus BTC is recovering, but we're in a very volatile market. Ethereum is going to kind of be very affected by what Bitcoin does. So just be careful. But look at that. It is making a hard turn up. Watch for ETC versus BTC. Watch for that 200 moving average cross. Watch for the strong indicators. Watch for the directional index to get in the green. Watch for the squeeze indicator to turn green. Watch for KRI to get green. We might need to do one more kind of cool off before we keep going. If you ask the stochastic RSI in this very, very short time frame, weight oscillator by Lazy Bear shows it's time to rock. So with that said, be careful. ONG versus BTC. It definitely dumped. ONG versus BTC. So check it out. But it hit the 314 moving average, did not visit the bottom of the RSI cave, moving up hard. Watch that 200 moving average cross today. These indicators are looking really, really good. ONG versus BTC might be a trade. It might very well recover quicker than Bitcoin and make some money. These are always suggestions. Do your own research, look at it your own way. But these are just things that I'm watching. So I'm going to start sharing these so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. And this might be a very good play. It's been powerful. It's been staying above the 200 moving average while Bitcoin has been kind of getting crazy. It dumped, yes, because Bitcoin just got too darn crazy, but it's bouncing in a very, very logical spot. And these indicators look good. I'm kind of happy with this. When I see that 200 moving average cross, I'm going to put an alert in for that. Okay, and when that happens, boom, I'm going to be in it. I'm going to be watching for the ADX here to get to be around 20 or 25, and this could actually be a really good setup. I like it. I just won't buy if it's bouncing off the RSI, on top of the RSI cave at that point. It may need to get above the 200 moving average, come down, bounce, and then keep moving up. So with that said, boom, Sol versus USDT fell out of its upwards channel. It could not hold the 200 moving average with this recent dump, but look at that. It held the 314. It's not at the bottom of the RSI cave yet. Indicators are looking sparky. One to watch. Watch for that 200 moving average break. It might be a play. C98, whatever it is, dumped hard, but did not go below the 200 moving average. Watch these indicators. They're starting to turn up. It's kind of in the right spot. When I see the squeeze indicator get green and I see the directional index begin to get green, the 8X is already in the right spot. Boom. This might be a continued play against Bitcoin. C98 versus BTC might be in play. SHIB versus USDT. Yeah, it's jacked. Screw it. It's not a play right now. BAND versus USDT. Look at that BAND. I love it. Been cruising hard. It jumped with Bitcoin's volatility recently. It has not broken the 200 moving average. It ain't taking that shit. Indicators beginning to turn up. BAND versus USDT might definitely be a play today. I linked to this in the show notes. I have not read it yet. I'm going to after this, and I will report back. Capriolas, whoever that is, 22 Market Outlook. Someone over at Bitcoin Daily View chat sent this. And this is actually really pretty smoking. I like this. I brushed through it briefly, but this is really powerful looking stuff. I linked to it in the show notes. Check it out. I think this is pretty groovy. I'll report back. It looks good. I like it. I love stuff like that. Now, a video by Crypto Love. I linked to it in the show notes. He gets into some cool stuff here. He kind of starts as kind of a downer, like, oh man, here's the downside that we could be seeing. Just looking at it very objectively. TA, what could be the downside? He pulls in some head and shoulders and such like that, and he makes a great point. He also looks at some on-chain, which is more positive, and then looks at one thing over here by, hopefully I have it here. Where is it at? Yes, by Tech Dev. Okay. This is a tweet by Tech Dev. I think it's actually worth checking out. And he does make a case that, pretty much my read of this Bitcoin cycle to date, he makes a really good point here. He shows some really good RSI divergence and talks about the macro consolidation recently. I like what we are seeing here. He's looking at this is a daily, just a 3-day chart. Sometimes when you zoom out a little bit, you can see more, definitely. You know what I mean? So with that said, I think this is definitely worth just a meditation on. The comments are both brilliant and retarded. So check it out. It's worthwhile. I like what I'm seeing there. Tech Dev is doing some good stuff. Definitely one to follow on Twitter. Even if you don't like Twitter, I personally don't like Twitter, but it is a powerful place right now for up to the moment crypto news and also, memes and stuff. So with that said, it's a volatile day. You can watch the whales playing right here. They are definitely, at odds with one another, or maybe very, very well coordinated with one another. I'd love to be on the conference call that is pushing a lot of these buys and sells personally. I don't know about you, but I would certainly enjoy it. I would not have a problem. Bitcoin, which way are you going to go? Watch for this 2-hour MACD cross on Bitcoin. I think it definitely could signal an upwards movement, and also watch the daily tangent at that point. You very well might see it turn up if Bitcoin starts to move. That would be good for our chart. I know we dumped a lot, but we kind of are holding at the bottom of the RSI cave. Looking at the indicators, I think we're kind of at the bottom of the dump. Anything could happen. It can dump further, but we're at a logical place to dump, but we're not in a safe zone. We're kind of in a weak chart, but watch for that turn up. Looking at the 45-minute chart, starting to see some sideways after this dump, starting to see indicators turn up, but still, we're in a very, very volatile moment. Bitcoin's below the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. If you're a dollar cost averager, you're probably partying right now. You're buying a little bit more. You're buying that dip. If you're a miner, you're mining the dip for what that's worth. With that said, if you really are, hardcore and you're like, risk averse, wait for that 200 moving average cross. Wait for some support up there. Wait for 12 to 24 hours up there. Look for powerful indicators here on the 45-minute chart. Watch for that daily MACD tangent to be turning up, which it has not yet. And definitely, really, I have to reiterate, while we are below the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average here on the daily chart, we are in flaccid territory. So Bitcoin in general, odds are it is more likely to dump than pump. Okay. So with that said, there you go. I mean, that's today's look at things. I'm going to start when I do these daily, which I'm going to keep doing these daily. I will show you the alts that I'm actively working on, so you'll know what I'm trading. You can see, and I'm always up for people, throwing things my way that they think look good. Let's all make money together. Let's all make money. I really want you to be successful in 2022. Let's all buy a Lambo just for fun, because we think it's funny in 2022. Even if it's a bear market for Bitcoin, you can still make tons of gains. And with that said, we will curb park our Lambo in front of the house just because we think it's funny. All right. Anyway, remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a piece of shit globalist cries. Take care.